going? So let me ask you a question. Are you ready to add some adverbs of frequency to your vocabulary to help you sound more advanced in English? Well, I hope you said yes, because that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. And I got a lot of requests for this video, especially following my last video that I made where we talked about the difference between ever and always. And you'll see always on this list because it's an adverb of frequency. Don't worry if you have no idea what an adverb of frequency is. I'm going to explain that to you, when you can use it, how you can use these, and why you should use them. Of course, I'm Jennifer from jforrestenglish.com, and this channel is dedicated to helping you sound like a fluent, confident, natural English speaker. Now, before we go any further, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I post a new video. Now, let's dive in with today's lesson. Everyone, in this video, we're talking about adverbs of frequency. And honestly, I would consider this basic English grammar. Now, there's nothing wrong with talking about the basics, even if you consider yourself an advanced learner. It's so important to master the basics. Ask any athlete or ask any musician. They spend time every single day mastering the basics. So today, our basics are adverbs of frequency. Now, first of all, you need to know when you use these. Well, adverbs of frequency are keywords for what verb tense? What verb tense do you use with adverbs of frequency? Do you know? Well, share your answer. Put it in the comments. What verb tense do you use with adverbs of frequency? Put it in the comments. Now, it's really important that you understand what verb tense goes with adverbs of frequency, because when you see an adverb of frequency in a sentence or on an exam, you know exactly what verb tense to use. And what verb tense did you say? It's the present simple, okay? It's the present simple. Now, remember, we use the present simple to talk about routines. We use it for other reasons as well, but in the context of adverbs of frequency, we're talking about routines, okay? So things that are part of your daily routine. Now, you have to think more broadly. It's not just your daily routine, it's your weekly routine, your yearly routine, okay? Those things as well. And also, you have to remember that things you don't do are also part of your daily routine. It's not just the things you do, the things you don't do are part of your routine as well. So here we have an example sentence, okay? He takes the bus to work. He takes the bus to work. That is in what verb tense? The present simple. You know this already. Now, I have this little space here, which, I wonder what's going to go there. Maybe an adverb of frequency. But without it, it's a complete sentence. He takes the bus to work. Great, good sentence. Basic, it's a pretty basic sentence, right? We have our subject, our verb. Remember that verbs in the present simple need to be conjugated according to our subject. They need to agree. That's why we add this S, because we have a he or a she or an it, okay? He takes the bus to work. Complete sentence, and we know this is part of his daily routine. How do you know this? Well, simply because you use the present simple verb tense. That tells you that it's part of his routine. Now, the thing that this sentence doesn't do is tell us about frequency. So how often? How often does he take the bus to work? Is this once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, every day? How often, okay? And that's where our adverbs of frequency come in. They simply add more information to your sentence. They make your sentence more complex, which is why you should use them, but ultimately they communicate more information. So the person hearing this understands your idea a lot better, simply because you provided more details. Adverbs of frequency are so easy to use, and they really will take your English from, to a more complex, more advanced level. So use them. And they go right here, okay? Subject, adverb of frequency, verb. That's the structure in the present simple for all of these, okay? So you just need to remember that. The adverb of frequency, you can think of it as it comes after the subject, or it comes before the verb. It comes between the subject and the verb. However you want to remember that, that's fine. But just remember it goes here. Now, we have our timeline, okay? So we're going to make this just an easy work week. Work week in North America is Monday through Friday. That's what the average person works in North America, okay? So that's our work week, Monday through Friday. So we're going to assume he takes the bus. Well, we're not going to assume, it says right here, to work. So we know he only works Monday to Friday. So that's the timeline that we need for our adverbs of frequency. So now I can just take any one of these adverbs of frequency, put it here, and give more meaning to this sentence, okay? So it's really easy to remember. Remember, our timeline is out of 5 because we're talking about Monday through Friday, which is 5 days. Your timeline can be 7 days, it can be 2 weeks, it can be a month, it can be a year. Your timeline can be totally different, okay? But we're just talking about a 5-day work week. So if we have always, he always takes the bus to work, we know this is an action that he does every single day from Monday to Friday, because always is used for the entire timeline. So remember, our timeline is out of 5. So he does this action 5 out of 5 days. If your timeline was a year, well, it would be 365, right? So you have to adjust this for your timeline. He always takes the bus to work, okay? So that's always. Now we have frequently and usually. They have the same meaning, so you can use them interchangeably. Now this is about 4 or 3 times a week. There's no set definition of adverbs of frequency, okay? One native speaker might use usually when they do the action 3 times a week. Another one might consider usually to be 4 times. It's a little bit more flexible, okay? But you do the action more than you don't do the action. So that's why I put 4 or 3. If it was more 3 or 2, that would be sometimes. Oh, I sometimes take the bus to work. She sometimes takes the bus to work. Don't forget this S here, okay? And of course, don't forget your S with he, she, it. She sometimes takes the bus to work. Now, if I hear sometimes, I definitely wouldn't think 4. 4 out of 5, that's too much for sometimes. So I'm thinking about 3 or maybe even 2. So about 50-50 or a little bit less, okay? If you're 50-50 and a little bit more, you're on frequently or usually. Sometimes. Now we have rarely or seldom. You can think of these as basically the opposite of frequently or usually, okay? So he rarely, I know that can be a hard word to say, especially if you're from a language, you know, from Asia. I know R's and L's are quite difficult, so rarely, that could be a hard one for you. But luckily, we have another choice. You can simply use seldom, okay? They mean the exact same thing. He seldom takes the bus to work. He rarely takes the bus to work. So think of this as the opposite of frequently or usually. Remember, these two have the same meaning as well. He rarely takes the bus to work. Okay, and again, feel free to use seldom for pronunciation if it's easier. Now, our last one, never. I'm sure you know what this means. This, of course, is the opposite of always, right? Always is the entire timeline. Never is 0. He never takes the bus to work. So that activity is not part of his daily routine. That's why at the beginning I said we also use the present simple and adverbs of frequency to talk about things that are not part of our daily routine. And we do that with never, okay? Now, these are not all of your adverbs of frequency, but these are by far the most common, okay? So add these to your vocabulary. They're so easy to add. They're easy to remember. I'm sure you understand the meaning of them right now, even if you have a beginner level of English. I think these are quite easy to understand, especially when you see it on a timeline and you understand the frequency, how often it happens, okay? Now, I realize I didn't put often on the list. He often takes the bus to work. I would say that would go here. Often is a very common one. Okay, so I put often in this category. Frequently, usually, often, I would say they have the same meaning. So you can choose to use one, you can choose to use all three of them. It doesn't matter, whatever's easiest for you, okay? And just remember this structure. I see mistakes in the structure a lot, and you know, it's better if you don't use the adverb of frequency if you're not going to get the structure correct. So make sure that your adverb of frequency comes between the subject and the verb. All right, so now you understand the most common adverbs of frequency. You know how to use them. You know the structure. You know they go with what verb tense? The present simple, to talk about the frequency of the activities in your daily routine. Now, what comes next? Practice, of course. So we have 5 adverbs of frequency. That means you're going to give me 5 sentences in the comments using a different adverb of frequency. And hey, use different subjects and use different verbs as well. So you get lots of practice. You're going to form 5 very unique sentences in the present simple. That's really amazing practice. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, share it with your friends, and of course, subscribe. Now, before you go, make sure you head on over to my website, jforrestenglish.com, and download this free speaking guide. Now, in this guide, I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. And until next time, happy studying. All right, look at you, taking your English to that next level. I can't wait to read your 5 sentences in the comments. But don't stop learning now. Check out this video. And don't forget about this video. And don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, bye.